We told you earlier about that sentencing for Savannah rapper Taekwon Bowman, also known as Quando Rondo, which happened just a few minutes ago. Christine Quayle joining us now live from outside the federal courthouse annex with more details on exactly what happened. Christine?
Yeah, Andrew, so just a couple of moments ago, we stepped out here from the sentencing hearing, and now Taekwon Bowman, otherwise known as rapper Quando Rondo, was sentenced today to 33 months, and that'll be a concurrent sentence. Now, anytime he's already served, the judge ruled will count towards that sentence, and he'll also pay a $40,000 fine. And the judge also ruled that he'll serve 3 years of supervisory release after he is released, and that release includes things like mental health counseling, drug testing, and educational resources as well. Now, many family and friends were here today for the sentencing hearing. Many relieved to know that Bowman does not have to report for his sentence until January 10th of this upcoming year of 2025. So many of them overheard remarking that they're happy they'll get to spend Christmas with their family member. We'll share more of you with the reaction of Bowman as he was walking out of the courtroom coming up at 5. Right now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Reporting in Savannah, Christine Quayle, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Well, that was a couple of years ago, and now today, Quando Rondo has been released to a halfway home. We're going to break down exactly what he should be expecting and tell y'all, according to the paperwork, what he's supposed to avoid, or his ass will be headed back to federal prison for a good 3 years. Y'all ready? So if we go all the way back to 12/16/2024, right, says the defendant pleaded guilty to a lesser included offense of count 1. So as we go through, right, and it says the court makes the following recommendations to the Bureau of Prisons. So when you see BOP, that's typically what that means. And it says it is recommended that the defendant be given credit toward his federal sentence for all time served in custody from June 16, 2023 until June 26, 2023. And then it says, and from December 9, 2023 until December 21st, 2003, that is not credited toward another sentence. So it says the defendant shall surrender for service of sentence at the institution designed by the Bureau of Prisons before 2 p.m. on Friday, January 10, 2025. So we go on to say, see the supervised release and mandatory conditions. So he can't commit another federal, state, or local crime, must not unlawfully possess controlled substance, must refrain from any unlawful use of controlled substance, of course. And it says you must cooperate in the collection of DNA as directed by the probation officer. If you ever wish payday came sooner, this might actually help. There's a banking app called Current with a bunch of useful features. And one of the main ones lets you access up to $750 of your paychecks early. If you switch your payroll over with Current, you get a full set of features like paycheck advance, fee-free overdraft, and the build card and more. There's everything in one app. I actually like that myself, which is why I partner with them. And right now, they're giving $75 to anyone who signs up using my link or scans the QR code on the screen. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the sign-up page where you can create your own account. Just go through the normal sign-up steps, enter information, order your card. After you complete those steps, you'll see the option pop up to enter my promo code, which unlocks the $75 bonus when you switch your direct deposit. So make sure you go through the full sign-up process so you don't miss it. If you ever feel like managing money is stressful and tight sometimes, it's definitely worth checking out because that's literally what it's designed for. You know what I'm saying? So we go on and we look and we see something that's interesting, right? I would like y'all to go and see the, what is it? Freaking 12. Because all the other stuff says you must report to the probation office. You know, after reporting to the probation office, you'll receive your instructions on what the hell to do. You must not knowingly leave the federal judicial district where you're authorized to reside without getting permission. Of course, you must answer truthfully the questions asked by a probation officer. You must live at a place approved by the probation officer. You must allow probation officers to basically visit you 24/7 at your residence. You got to work a job unless you're permitted not to. And then you must not communicate or interact with someone you know is engaged in criminal activity. If you know someone has been convicted of a felony, you must not knowingly communicate or interact with that person without first getting permission of the probation officer. That's a big one because of NBA Youngboy. If you're arrested and questioned by a law enforcement officer, you must notify the probation officer within 72 hours. So you can't own or have guns and all that shit. You must not act or make any agreement with law enforcement agency. So number 11 is what I want y'all to pay attention to. It says, you must not act or make any agreement with a law enforcement agency to act as a confidential human source or informant without getting permission from the court. Because there's this weird ass illustration being painted by a drug addict saying, oh, he's going to go to freaking Dirk's trial and tell. Well, nah. Anyways, the probation officer determines that you pose a risk to another person, including an organization. The probation officer may require you to notify the person about the risk. You must comply with the instruction. Then it says, follow instructions of the probation officer related to the conditions of the supervision. Then obviously it talks about him being able to test for drugs and shit, mental health treatment, take all his meds, must provide a probation officer with access to requested financial information, which is terrible. You must pay the financial penalty, which he owes 40 grand. You must not communicate or otherwise interact with any known member of a gang without first obtaining the permission of the probation officer. You must participate in an educational service. Plus, this is a services program. All right. You must submit your own person, property, house, residence, office, all that shit and whatever the hell, because they can be searched. So y'all see this right here, $100 assessment and then a fine of $40,000. Defendant must pay interest on the restitution. God dang. I wonder how much they want for that. And a fine of more than $2,000 unless the restitution or fine is paid in full before the 15th day after the day of the judgment. That sucks ass. But yeah, a lump sum of $100 in accordance and special instructions regarding the payment of criminal monetary penalties. But yeah, that's about it. Now, let's understand something. Quando Rondo said he had dropped his flag. All right, cool. Smart decision. You don't want to look like a problem when you're headed into prison, so it's best that you provide yourself with the opportunities of things to avoid while you're in there, right? And he fully converted to being a Muslim. So, alaikum salam. But is it all an act? Was it all an act? Were there things that he was thinking he could fool the whole entire world or just the judicial system? And that be that. I don't know. I have no idea. But I will say this. There were rumors, really is one rumor from somebody who will remain not to be known and saying certain shit like, oh, Quando Rondo, he's going to testify in the Lil Durk trial and all this shit. And it's like, actually, no. By the time Lil Durk trials pops up, Quando Rondo will be free in the wind. He'll just be on federal probation and do whatever he wants. He won't be testifying or anything like that. So when you get idiots who have domestic violence charges and do drugs and stuff all the time, they don't really know what they're talking about. They just blather. But the question remains, can he stay out of harm's way? Quando Rondo is a cool dude, solid cat. We've seen multiple freaking videos where he's been solid. At times a little bit lackadaisical. He's gotten himself into little here's and there's, when he walked through the mall and all that shit with his people, when really he was banned from there. So they made sure to let him know, you're banned from here. You can't be coming here. So hopefully with this time that he has completely changed. But if he hasn't, then he better learn how to fly under the radar. But I'm more curious, just like you guys are, because I'm pretty sure this is what y'all wanted to know. Is he going to be able to kick it with NBA Youngboy, do music with Youngboy, the whole entire 4K Trey shit? Now, granted, this was a state case, so what I'm about to reference is completely different than a federal one, right, as far as rules and regulations. We saw in the YSL trial where if you were still signed to YSL, and you happen to be from a space and from a place, aka a gang, if you will, that you are still able to hang out with Jeffrey Lamar Williams, aka Sergio Kitchens, aka his brother whose name freaking escapes me right now. I can't think of it, but these cats, they are still able to go around Young Thug. So I'm curious if the same dang rules apply. As long as it's business, as long as I'm signed to this individual, can I do music videos? Can I go on tour? Can I do all that? Because regardless of what people want to say, Quando Rondo, a dope ass rapper. He got dope songs. He, for the most part, he ain't did shit wrong. And part of this shit is going to be dispelled right now. Quando Rondo didn't do shit wrong in the whole entire King Von stuff. I just want y'all to know that. All them cats used to be cool. It's Von's fault. Von did some shit, and it's all over brides. Baby mamas. The one bride that just had a baby, and the other one that screwed on the goddamn NBA player. The actual ball player, the DeJounte Murray dude. It's those women's fault. Well, it's not their fault. It's those women being around those two individuals that made everything go to shit. But ultimately, it's King Von's fault. Quando Rondo didn't kill King Von. The Atlanta PD did. Not goddamn Lil Tim. Lil Tim did shoot King Von, but it was ultimately Atlanta PD's bullets that got him up out of here. So I say all that to say, if you are picking a quote unquote side, pick the side of truth. It's all right to say, you know what? Hey, he did what he had to do, all this shit and everything, and so be it, so be it. But at the same time, Quando Rondo didn't kill anybody. He didn't shoot anybody. He didn't do anything to anybody. Hell, he didn't even get a chance to swing. So when y'all say certain things about certain people, just remember what they did or did not do. Just gonna be fair around here. But hey, maybe y'all see it different. Maybe y'all see there was some poking and all this shit and everything because Quando Rondo was getting on Clubhouse's rooms and joining their rooms and doing hella shit antagonist situation like his ass actually did. So we're not going to pretend like Quando Rondo wasn't acting like, oh, bruh, you finna slick profit off of this shit and act like, you had something more to do with it because you actually didn't do shit. But you for sure were stroking the goddamn fire. So there's that where I know people are going to be like, well, nah, Nash, he did say this, he did say that. He didn't, he wasn't backing down. He was asking for it. He was like, they said Miller's on my head, bitch, make it 8. Come run up on me, jump out, bang. I'm going to let this shit rain until they put me in my grave. We be on some street shit. We be on some hop out. Nah, let me stop. Anyways, so he slick antagonized the situation, but he didn't start the situation. He didn't, quote unquote, end the situation. So we shall see, but that boy ain't finna come up to no damn federal courtroom snitching. I don't even know why that drug addict said that shit, but it is what it is. Y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this one. Do you believe that Quando Rondo can keep his nose clean? Or do y'all believe this was all a facade? This is all a look to basically get him out early because he had to RDAP. You get lesser points when you basically say, all right, I did this shit. Like, when you agree on the federal level, it lessens by like a point or two. So, taking responsibility is what they essentially want you to do so that you don't waste the court's times and all that shit. And then RDAP, y'all know that's going to give them some time off and all that shit. So, it is what it is. But y'all, let me know y'all thoughts on this. So, subscribe, turn on the bell, stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. Now, for the alleged master payer of the hit in LA that almost killed Quando Rondo. Click right here because Lil Durk Mama speaking out. You might want to hear what she got to say. Get your tissues ready. It's a tearjerker. Click right here for that video and click right here for the playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one.